Okay. Welcome to the regular meeting held on Wednesday, October 29th, 2017, 6 p.m. of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, County of Sussex. This meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Freeholder Crab? Here. Freeholder Graham?
Here.
Freeholder Patillo?
Here.
Freeholder Director Lazaro?
Here. Please join me in a moment of silence and salute to the flag led by Freeholder Graham.
I'd like to take a moment to have a moment of silence for firefighter Ed Fernensky from Stanhope, who suddenly and tragically passed away during a drill at the Public Safety Training Academy. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975, adequate notice is defined in Section 3D of Chapter 231 PL 1975 has been made by regular mail. Such notice being submitted on October 20th, 2017 from the Administration Center, the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald, WSUS Radio, New Jersey Sunday Herald, WNNJ Radio, Star Ledger. It is also posted on a bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for the Public Announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with the said act. Can I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So,
Second. I'd like to make two removals. I'd like to make a motion to remove item 7B, which was read as presentation County Environmental Remediation Projects, Joe Busso. And I'd also like to make a motion to remove item 15A2, which was the awarding of a contract for Applied Service Corporation through the competitive contracting process for consultative services of a licensed site remediation professional, LSRP, for various Sussex County environmental remediation projects for a 12-month period, October 12th through 2017. October 25th, 2017 through October 24th, 2018, and the approximate cost of $930,000. I'd like to make that motion.
second.
I have a motion by Freeholder Graham, second by Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. And the agenda is approved. A resolution providing for an executive closed session not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12 et sec. Whereas subject matter about to be discussed may be excluded from the public portion of the open meeting by resolution of the Board of Chosen Freeholders as an exception to the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12b. And whereas it appears necessary for the Board of Chosen Freeholders to discuss such matters in executive session. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex, in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12b and NJSA 10:4-13, that the Board at this time enter into executive session from which the public shall be excluded. And be it further resolved that the general nature of the subjects to be discussed relate to the following items authorized by NJSA 10:4-12b, as designated below: matters pertaining to litigation, negotiations, and the attorney-client privilege, and matters pertaining to employee relationships. Be it further resolved that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon determination of the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, or provided by law that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. And be it further resolved that upon completion of the business for which the board has entered into executive session, we shall reconvene and resume its meeting in open public. By motion to move to executive session?
So moved.
I have a motion by Freeholder Crab. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We'll be going into executive session. We will return for the rest of the meeting approximately 7 o'clock. If we're lucky. Okay, okay. Okay, we resume our meeting. Proclamations and presentations. We have a proclamation recognizing the 17th Annual Salute to Military Veterans Parade. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Crab, second by Freeholder Graham. Is there discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried. Mr. Graham, would you like to make the presentation, please?
I do. Is Lorraine here?
Yes, she's about.
Lorraine changed her hair color. I can't see.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Makeup
Lorraine.
on, I changed my hair, everything.
Wait, where's Aldo?
He's not here.
Aldo's not here.
They want you to move, right? You guys move over a little.
We have to go over here.
Yeah, there you go.
See? Look into the camera. Sure you do. Sure you do. First of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Mike. This is the first team. These are the guys and the ladies that make sure that the veterans are recognized and supported year after year, making sure that they're not only recognized for what the services that they performed for our country overseas or during their tour of duty, but then it went on and on and on. Gentlemen that served the country away and you continue serving it here.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that, all of you. I'm going to read this proclamation, and I'm going to cut out most of the whereases because they sound annoying. Whereas Sussex County is home to thousands of veterans, and these tumultuous times call on each and every one of us to be alert on all fronts. And America's veterans stand ready to defend our shores, our communities, our personal values, and the people of Sussex County greatly appreciate the selfless and personal sacrifices of our past veterans and those that currently serve our country both on home and on foreign soils. And just like Eagle Scouts, there's no ex-Eagle Scout or former Eagle Scout. These veterans are always on call. Whereas honoring our veterans encourages all of us to be more appreciative of the many freedoms we possess as Americans and the price that is being paid each day to allow us to enjoy those freedoms now and for generations to come. Now therefore be resolved that the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders does hereby proclaim Sunday, November the 5th, 2017, as the 17th Annual Salute to Military Veterans Parade, and a day to salute our veteran of this county, paying special tribute to the veterans, their families, their neighbors, and friends, celebrating together today, enjoying the glorious freedom of these United States of America, and remembering in a special way those that are risking their lives abroad to make a better America for all. And we were reminded just how things could change with the soldiers that were killed in action in Niger. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know we were in Niger. It's terrible. By order of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Carl Lazaro, Director, Jonathan Rose, Deputy Director, Phil Crabb, George Graham, Sylvia Patillo, Freeholders. Lorraine always does an incredible job with her team. And how many are on your team?
8 of us.
8 on the team. And the purpose is not just to have a parade. The purpose is also to inform veterans of services that are available to them, and also a day of camaraderie where we can actually talk about the challenges that not just veterans that are coming back face, but how you're meeting those challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on, Herman, say something.
Me to say something.
Come on, Herman.
Herman Frank.
But Frank's going to say something.
I want to thank all the freeholders for standing behind us, because we need your support like the rest of the veterans do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Frank, be nice.
First of all, I'm going to be nice. First of all, Ernie, I just left Barn Hill seeing Ernie Koza.
Yes.
And which he should be here, he usually is.
Yes.
And he sends his best, and he just wants everybody to know that he's still around, and he intends to be at the parade,
Good.
God willing, of course. And I want to also say one thing, that this committee, if it wasn't for Lorraine and Diane, you wouldn't have a parade. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Am I correct?
I agree with you. Your
You're
time.
wrong.
Well, once again, thanks to the council and everybody. We appreciate the support and everything else that we get for the parade and for our veterans. This county is one of the best counties for our
Sure is.
veterans.
Sure is.
And it takes the groundswell work that you have done over the years.
Thank you.
putting the plug in our ear and then giving the foot in the pants to
Well,
get where we gotta go.
we thank you for the, you know, for the CBOC and, you
That's
know,
right.
you also was very involved in that. Mr. Warhol was too, Ron Fairley Heisen, Senator Booker, and I mean, we just had a whole bunch of folks that really got that together, and that's monumental. And how,
And the college.
and the college too, and how Rodney really, I would say, single-handedly put that thing up there, really.
Thank you. You wanna get a picture or?
November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th.
It's on
at the
Sunday.
fairgrounds.
It's at the fairgrounds, and you come up, and it's in the Richards building again, right?
Right.
Yes.
Which is bigger now.
And you get free hot dogs.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back for that.
And it starts at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, you gotta go out there for,
Been here
a
before one time.
few years ago when it was
Starts
like
at
28 degrees and windy.
yeah.
The Richards building sure looked good.
We put in for 55 this year.
We're still in the Richards building.
Yeah.
We took a commitment.
Come on, Demo, let's get together here.
Together.
Good on it.
Can we stand clear of the podium?
Clear the podium.
Clear the podium. Clear the podium.
Forget to get around the shoes.
That's good.
Right.
Put your heels, come on.
Cover off.
There's no place like home.
Here, you hold it. Don't bump
That's
the
it.
time.
I'm not a good mayor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
That looks good on you.
I do just want to thank the Veterans Committee and just discuss the network of care that we have for our veterans in Sussex County. It is not just county employees that provide services, it's private nonprofits, it's volunteers, it's service organizations such as the VBA, the VFW, the American Legion. Each and every one of them plays a step in supporting our veterans, whether they're just coming home and welcoming them home or whether they've been home for 40 years and need help and services. And each one of these gentlemen have shared stories with us that just made me very proud to work in Sussex County and work with them and understand all the services that they provide. We are very fortunate and lucky. So thank you very much for all you guys do.
Thank you. Public hearings, we have none. Public session from the floor. Please note, everyone is asked to keep their comments to 5 minutes or less, address items regarding the agenda. Please state your name, spell your last name, and state your municipal residency. Do I have a motion for public session from the floor?
Motion.
Motion by Freeholder Graham, is there a second? I'm sorry.
She's second.
Second by Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion? All in favor? Aye, open. Floor is open for public session. Please present yourself.
Motion closed.
I have a motion to close. Is there a second? And a second by Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Freeholder comments? Motion open for Freeholder comments?
Motion open.
Motion open. Is there a second? Second by Freeholder Patillo. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried.
We're being very formal
We're
today.
giving everybody that.
Very formal tonight.
Correct me in reverse this time. Okay, Freeholder Patillo?
I was able to go to a summit, actually, that was authored by the American Technical Education Association at Sussex County Community College. It was extremely interesting, and it opened a lot of different ideas and possibilities that we've been discussing for the last couple of years in Sussex County, and I'm going to get into that. But I want to talk about the topics that they started to discuss initially. One was the regional workforce and industry-recognized credentials, and the second one, we just piggybacked on that, doing what matters for jobs and the economy. So what were they talking about? They were talking about how the workplace and the workforce and industry have changed over the years. The trend in education has been always to push four-year education. Everyone has to go to college. That comes right down from the federal government education department all the way down to your colleges, your high schools, your career opportunities that are spoken about in the elementary and middle schools as well. Everybody is pushing for that four-year education. And what they're saying now, that there's a trend happening in the workforce that's very different. It's not about a four-year degree. It's about technical credentials and degrees. because the workforce that you need today is a technical workforce, and they need to have the work and the skills and the design of these different courses to enable that workforce to be here, so that when industry wants to come in, we can provide them that workforce. And it's really interesting to me, having been in education, because the whole prospect now is very, very different. And I'm not saying that a 4-year degree isn't necessary. Absolutely it is. There are the jobs that we need in our society where you need that 4-year degree. So let's just push that to the side. But let's look at the industry now that's coming our way. And they're talking about partnering now, instead of with other educators, but partnering now with employers, with industry itself. And they were talking about different areas. The one major area they spoke about for quite a while was what California was doing. And they pretty much were the model now for the nation, because this started this quite a few years ago with them. And the speaker there was talking about how you have to have a communication, the ability to speak with the industry, people in the industry, and bring them on board with their input to begin to create these certifications, these credentials, and these degrees associated with a technical education. And we've been talking about, especially around budget time, we were talking about welding. I didn't know that welders were in demand, that they can make $150,000. But they need credentials in order to have those opportunities to raise their standard in their own abilities. What they found is that 50% of our population do not have any education after high school, 50%. So how do you help them to improve or succeed, and also bring that and get that involved with what I'm talking about, these new industries and these new skills? Well, when you bring your industry and your employers on board with your educators, and they design these courses that will now give you certifications and credentials above a high school level, that enables you to have a better opportunity to make more money and to advance. So the way they're trying to implement this into our educational system is through the county colleges. So that county colleges will no longer be competitive against each other, but they will begin to have different types of areas of education where they can actually work together. So if I'm offering credentials in this area, you offer credentials in this area. What I can't do here, you can do here, and you should be able to interact within the county colleges. It's a regional idea. It's very different than what we're used to, but it's the trend and what's happening in the economy and in the job market. So when they talk about, 50% of their workforce has no education above a high school degree, they have this standard, this goal right now for 2065, right, 2025, that they'll raise that to 65% through these technical types of certifications and credentials. There's a lot involved with this. I could sit and talk to you for an hour on what was discussed and the implementation that is being really designed for these type of degrees now. But it's a whole new view of how you work and how you plan and how you bring up the next generation as far as employment and work skills that are needed. So there's now a whole different trend in education that's coming on board, not to diminish a 4-year degree, not at all, but to come on board beside that and say, hey, there's a 4-year degree here, or there's this type of technical education where you too can make quite a bit of money and give yourself a better opportunity in the job market. So I thought it was really interesting, and I have to say, and I have to give credit to John Connolly, because when he first came on board and he started to talk about this, I wasn't really clear on where he was going. I kept hearing about these different work skills that we need, and he's now collaborating with the technical school on the high school level, which is important because they want to get down to the high school level. They actually want to bring this down to middle school and to elementary school, so that children begin to learn that there's different types of skills that they could get involved in, and bring some of those skills so that they're actually being used and being offered in the elementary and middle school before they get to the high school level, and then on to a secondary education in the colleges. And it can also go into a 4-year degree as well. So California is already doing this. They've have a remarkable plan in place that they're working through all the county colleges, and now they're starting in different states to come on board with this through the county colleges. So I just want to thank John Connolly for bringing us a lot of this information. And after I went to the summit, the puzzle began to come together for me. And I began to understand exactly what he was talking about and how this is really a game changer in the job market. So I hope to be hearing more about that and seeing what the colleges begin to how they begin to collaborate and work to actually get these kind of programs in place. And hopefully when industry decides to come into our area, we'll have that workforce which would enable them to be successful. And that's what it's all about, is having the workforce in place and having the industry itself help build that workforce in collaboration with the colleges. So I don't know if I was able to explain that to you. Was it clear?
I got it.
There's so much involved in this, but that was the only way I could simplify it for you. So it was a really good summit. A lot of information. That's it.
Thank you. Freeholder Crab.
Thank you, Director. At the beginning of the meeting, before any of you got here, Freeholder Graham paid memory to the tragic loss of his hometown firefighter, Ed Fernensky. At the training facility, I believe it was on Monday night, at the county training facility, 31 years old. They were doing some of the most compelling and complicated training that there is at that time with regards to medical extrication, but probably one of the most, as Carl would know, some of the most important training, some of the most critical training that we have. And, you know, we've said it before here, the firemen in Sussex County have other jobs, have other real jobs to go to. All of this training, all of this stuff that's so important to the rest of us when when the call comes is done above and beyond any of the other responsibilities that we have. And the type of training that we get here has to mirror the same training as we get for New York Fire Department or for any big fire department. So the levels of dedication, and it's just tragic that this happened. You're seeing firefighters across the county coming together as a result of this. I pray for the family. I pray for Stanhope Fire Department. It's a very difficult situation that really that no fire department should go through, but it happens, thankfully, rarely. And I pay tribute to Ed Fernensky and to his family and to his dedication that he's shown. I think he's been Fireman George for at least 10 years.
His father's the former chief.
And his father's a former chief and active still. It's a terrible situation, and like I said, I'm going to pray for the fire department for this line of death duty, and I'm sure there'll be character building for a bunch of us. I know that the arrangements are at the Morgan Funeral Home in Netcong on Saturday. I think you're going to see most of the county firefighters there to pay their true respects. I also had the opportunity to attend the annual Boy Scout dinner at Corona Farms, where they honored Sussex Bank President CEO Anthony Labazetta. We go to many events during the year. Probably there's very few, if any, that are more impressive as the one that's put on to support local scouting. That one night, they raised $130,000 for Sussex County Scouting. We go to these things and you see it for a bit. This was a who's who there, and complete dedication to what the goals were there. Local scouts came in and did the most. The guys from the military would have really been proud. They were just spot on with the presentations of the flag and the placings, and really makes you proud to see where scouting's come. It's when I was going through scouting in the early 70s, there wasn't the most favorite thing You know, there were other distractions that I consider it a missed opportunity that I didn't go all the way through. But the amount of Eagle Scouts in Sussex County out of every corner, you know, and it is really, you know, it's really impressive. Scouting is alive and well in Sussex County, in no small part due to the events that we had on Saturday night. So that's all I have.
And Freeholder Jonathan Rose is an Eagle Scout.
And he's sick tonight, that's why he couldn't be
Yeah,
here.
and he didn't want to pass on his germs. That was the reason he's not here. I just want to comment on one thing regarding what we were talking about on the college. We support the college, the county college, and I know there's a lot of times when people push back and say we have declining enrollment and what are we supposed to do about that? Well, we try to refine it, we try to hone it into what is necessary. One of the side issues that we have in supporting our county college is something called the chargeback. Chargeback is basically opposite of what Sylvia was just talking about. That's when we have our silos of our colleges, and if somebody has to go to another college, then we have to pay the full board for that college. If we had more of a regional approach, that would mean that we could have specialties here, and Warren could have specialties there, and we wouldn't be stuck with that. And that comes to over $300,000 a year, and that is not in the college budget. That's in our budget here. So if somebody decides that they want to be a radiologist, and we don't have that course in Sussex County, and radiology is being taught in Morris County, we have to pay the same as any other out-of-county student has to pay, and the county has to pick that up. That is by state statute. This has to be done away with. We have to look at it as more of a regional and more of a collaborative effort, or else we just can't afford it anymore. The parade, we discussed the parade, which is at 1 p.m. on Sunday, November 5th, 2017. The program will consist of military flyover of World War II military aircraft, and a parade that will highlight veterans of all the services. There is a pin. Did you have show that? He got the first pin right off of the press there. Look at that. So if you want to know what's going on in Sussex County, you have to go talk to Herman.
Nice hat.
And it's a nice hat.
Herman, I like the hat. Where'd you get that?
It's had a long time.
Thank you.
But Oars has some great hats.
Yeah.
Oars has some really great hats. So those of you who can make it, please make it. It's worth it. I'd like to talk about Stuff the Bus. Stuff the Bus is an opportunity for everybody to be able to contribute to the food bank. We are coming to that season where the food bank is drawing down supplies faster than we can bring them in. And the bus is in different locations. I'll mention what they are. And those locations, we literally have a bus. We have one of our buses, and people come by. I've been there many a time. It's amazing. People drive by and they bring a bag of this, a bag of that. Some people just bring an envelope, whatever is necessary to help us out during this difficult of times. Friday, November 17th, it's at First Hope Bank on the road here on Newton Sparta Road. Saturday, November 18th is the ShopRite of Newton. Saturday is also the ShopRite of Franklin. Sunday, November 19th is the ShopRite of Newton and also ShopRite of Franklin. And I will repeat that reminder. Flu vaccines. To those of us who put on a red suit, put little kids on our laps around this time of, in another month or so, the flu vaccine is very important, but it's very important for others also. The flu vaccine is available in your communities, and I don't have all the list of those, but they are available on Thursday, November 2nd and Monday, November 6th at the Sussex County Office of Public Nursing up on Wheatsworth Road. This is all online, so there's further information that you provided, but we provide flu vaccines right straight through the season. Enrollment for Medicare Part D. I mentioned this last meeting, but it's very important to know. Those that are over the age of 65, the Part D prescription drug plan runs October 15th through December 7th. That's the enrollment. We have volunteers from various members of the community that come in and assist seniors in determining what is the best plan for them, and it makes it a lot easier to evaluate. And JC, JC is the program for early cancer detection. We have been awarded a Community Partner Award by the Atlantic Healthcare System. And this is not just a show up and receive your trophy award. This is something that takes a lot of work. It's outreach. It's empowering people to be the healthiest that they possibly can. And our health department is, particularly public health nursing, is very heavily involved in this. Public health nursing, communicable diseases investigations. From October the 1st through October the 17th, there were 57 reportable diseases diagnosed in Sussex County. Among those were Lyme disease, hepatitis C, hepatitis B. Lyme disease alone was 41 that was detected and was reported to the health department. Lyme disease, hepatitis C were the most frequently reported communicable diseases from October 1st to the 17th. There were 2 reported outbreaks of in Sussex County of a respiratory outbreak in long-term facilities. Our health department is more than just doing inspections on kitchens and clubs. It requires investigations of any kind of communicable disease, including rabies, dog and cat bites. All of these have to go through an investigation, and that's what our health department does. Just one more thing, as long as I've already run on. I'd like to talk about something. I'm not a firefighter. I'm just not a firefighter. But I do appreciate every Monday I try to go through Stanhope and stop at the firehouse and watch our guys training. On Monday night, I happened to be at the Public Safety Training Academy. I left just moments before Mr. Frenensky fell. Or he didn't fall, he had his issue. Training is far more of the time, sweat, and effort than actually fighting any fire. I mean, there are calls that are going out there. I don't know what the ratio is, but from what I see in my town alone, I bet you it's 100 hours to 1 of training for that 1 hour, over and over and over again. Training is inherently dangerous, the same way as a fire is inherently dangerous. It requires taking risks, it requires putting your whole into it, and it requires being focused. And we have some of the finest fire departments, I would say, certainly in the state, because they do it, and they do it as volunteers. We try to support the Public Safety Training Academy for that time when the firefighters come to our academy. But as you drive by, I don't know what your days might be. What is Sparta's, do you have a day that Sparta has their training?
I'm not sure.
Okay, but one night a week, they all come in, and they all do something. Extrication, just like Phil said a moment ago, is one of the more dangerous. The other one is going into smoke-filled buildings. At our fire academy, we have a building that actually smokes up for the purpose of going in and finding their way around. These firefighters, and they're not just men anymore, there's a lot of women that are involved, do this just for the better good. And as we see a veteran, we say thank you. Maybe it might not be a bad idea when you see a firefighter say the same thing.
Unfortunately for all of you, there's not much left to say. It's all been said. We have a road department as thankfully going to be completing the Ogdensburg Bridge this month, and we will celebrate that completion. I'm sure Ogdensburg will be thrilled with that. The Roseville Bridge has been completed and I believe is open to traffic now. The Publicating Bridge is in progress. There are several other bridges as well as road closures for repaving and resurfacing that are happening throughout the county, so you'll be aware of them. We'll be wrapping that up pretty soon as it begins to get cold and the plants that make asphalt start to close down. Again, a reminder that the vet parade, not to beat this to death, but Ed and I went to fire school together about 10, 11 years ago, and he was training in extrication of a patient from a vehicle. A lot of what fire departments do today is drag people's bodies out of cars because of a variety of reasons. And I have a scanner that plays in my office all day long, and I hear what's going on throughout the county, from motorcycles down, from motorcycle car accidents, from 3-4 car accidents with cars, and my conversations with the people who cover these accidents, so many of them are caused by inattentive driving, and they can and should be avoided. That's a sad thing. But we have more than our share of traffic accidents, and the first persons that are called on scene are the fire departments, which means you pull out apparatus and materials. You've got several $500,000 vehicles that are now racing through the streets to get someplace on time because somebody may or may not be entrapped in a vehicle, can't get out. Fortunately, the vehicles that we're making today are much safer. They have a cage built in them that you would be amazed how the car collapses and crumbles, but the cage protects the occupant. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the occupant is thrown from the vehicle or battered around in it. But when you realize that you're going 40 miles an hour and you hit something and you stop and your head keeps going and goes back and forth and your brain is inside your head rattling around against the bones that hold it, hence concussions and a variety of brain injuries, vessels damaged. There's no protection for that. Our job when we get there is to extricate people out of those vehicles immediately, and that's what the training that this young man was involved with when the incident occurred that ended in his death. We do that frequently. We do that 2 or 3 times a year just to practice, because the better we are at it, the quicker we can save the person's life that's in there. That goes on throughout the county, through everybody. And then when multiple departments get on scene to do the same thing, everybody knows what they're doing and they can work together to be able to benefit the person who's involved in the accident. So, you know, that's something that we can be grateful for. If we had to fund that out of our own towns individually, it would be an astronomical cost. In addition to that, the EMS people are on scene who then immediately after that extrication is there to take over and take care. And, you know, if you've seen some of these accidents, cars that get wrapped around trees, and they're wrapped around the tree so difficult, so hard that you can't get an individual out because they're pinned and trapped inside the vehicle, and you have to move the dashboard, you have to move the engine, you have to move the doors in order to pull them out of there. It's an ugly scene. I've been on scenes that go for 6 to 8 hours through the night. And of course, alcohol is another issue that's involved in a lot of these things, and that becomes a serious matter. So our hearts go out and our prayers go out to the family of Ed, and to all our firefighters throughout the county and all our EMS people throughout the county who work so hard to keep us safe. That's all I have. That's we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Resolution A, authorization for the Sussex County Department of Health and Human Services Division of Senior Services to receive grant funds from the New Jersey Department of Human Services Division of Aging Services for a Medicare Special Benefits Outreach and Enrollment Assistance Program for the period of October 1st, 2017 to September 29th, 2018 in the amount of $40,000. This is a grant for senior services that comes to the county. Authorization for the Freeholder Board Director and the Clerk, of the Board to execute modification number 2 of an agreement, attachment A, increasing the agreement by $111 with Newton Medical Center for the provision of food services for weekday and weekend home delivered meals for the period of January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017 for a total amount of $93,562. These are the Meals on Wheels, pretty much delivery along with the next one, that we provide services for the elderly for food services. And you know, this is a real interesting program because a lot of times when you go to some of these seniors' houses, it's not so much the food, but it's the company and the conversation that they crave and that they enjoy, that the person who delivers gets a chance to talk to them. I was with the local Rotary Club tonight, the Newton Rotary Club, and we prepared 100 backpacks with winter clothing and non-perishable food items for the homeless, for people who have no place to go or nothing to do, so that they can be warm, that they have plenty of food. Those services are going on in conjunction with the county services, so that no one in our county, hopefully, has to go hungry or without shelter. We take that as a very serious and a very important aspect of our responsibilities. And if you know of anyone who's in that position, please don't hesitate to contact us or our social services department, and we will take care of it immediately. Authorization for the freeholder director and the clerk of the board to execute modification number 2 of an agreement increasing the amount by $71 with Res Care for New Jersey, Inc., DBA Res Care Home Care for the provision of certified home health service, home health aid services for the period of January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017 for a total amount of $59,123. This amounts to clean up the grant and make the numbers come out even as with the grant. Authorization for the freeholder director and clerk of the board to execute modification number 2 of an agreement increasing the agreement by $17,853 with Catholic Family and Community Services for the provision of weekday and weekend home delivered meals for a period of January 1st, 2007 to December 31st, 2017 for a total amount of $122,909. That's our Meals on Wheels program. And the church works very, very closely with us on that. Resolution E, authorization for the freeholder director to execute a contract for state fiscal year 2017 on behalf of the County of Sussex with the State of New Jersey, Department of Law and Public Safety, Division of Highway Traffic Saving, relating for fiscal year 2017 Drunk Driving Enforcement Fund Grant Program Award for the Sussex County Sheriff's Office for a total amount of $3,602.93 for a reporting period of July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. Resolution F, authorization for the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to approve the submission of health service grant for the provision of cancer education and early detection, NJC, issued by the New Jersey Department of Health in the amount of $189,189 for the period of July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. If I am correct, a lot of this is for breast cancer detection. Mm-hmm. Yes. Authorization to provide for a roadway of traffic striping from Denville line painting for the Sussex County Department of Engineering and Planning in the amount of $51,908.10 for 2017 roadway striping, as that's an obvious conclusion. Resolution H, authorizing to provide for the purchase of 3 vehicles from Charles S. Winter, Inc., DBA Winter Ford, for the office of Sussex County Sheriff in a total amount of $78,524.80. This is replacement vehicles, part of our replacement program. Board of Chosen Freeholders of Sussex County has reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that the adoption of the said resolution is in and will further public interest. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, but I'd like to make a motion to take G separately. I didn't realize this was on there, and I'd like to recuse from it.
That's fine, we can pull G out. So we now have a motion to vote on items A through F and H. I have a motion by Freeholder Crab, and a second by Freeholder, what's your name? Graham. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. A resolution G for the roadway traffic striping. Do I have a motion? Motion by Freeholder Crab, a second?
Second.
Freeholder Patillo, second. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Abstain?
Yes.
Abstain.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Motion is carried. Approval of the minutes of regular meeting of October 11th, 2017. Do I have a motion?
So,
Second.
So moved by Freeholder Crab, second by Freeholder Graham. Is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well,
Thanks, Nick.
and one abstention. Motion is carried. Appointments and resignations, we have none. Resolutions. Resolution read providing temporary closure of County Route 519 and County Route 630 in the borough of Branchville for the annual Christmas tree lighting and sing-along event on December 1st, 2017. Resolution B, providing for temporary closure of County Route 613 in Sparta Township for the Sparta Township Education Foundation's annual Turkey Trot 5K on November 23rd, 2017. That's exciting, isn't it, Gillian? Is that where they run a lot of turkeys down the road?
Yeah, we chase them. We
Chase
chase
them
them
down
along
the
the
road.
lake.
Yeah, everybody.
I caught one year.
No, I don't think so.
And then they get sent to the farm so they're preserved forever.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. Just like in the White House. Final adoption for the Frankfurt Township Amendment to the Sussex County Wastewater Management Plan, WMP, for one lot addition to the Branchville Paulskill Facility Sewer Service Area. That's a slight expansion of the existing wastewater plant. Resolution D, approval to amend the district solid waste management plan to include Pace Glass Class A recycling facility, County Route 669 in Andover Township. Is there a motion?
Motion.
A motion by Freeholder Graham. Is there a second?
Second.
Second Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion?
I got one thing I'd like to make a comment on D. We have somebody here from Pace Glass. Welcome to the community. Best of luck there, and we're a good place to stay, so.
Glad to have you. Hope we made this thing as simple as possible. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Awards of contracts, change orders and bids. Resolution 3, award of contract to Winter Technologies from date of contract award until July 31st, 2018 for the supply and delivery of calcium chloride de-icing chemicals for the County of Sussex Division of Facilities Management in the amount not to exceed $32,220. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
No,
I
there
think
was one more in the
one more,
next
it's
page.
3.
Oh,
Well, I was going to do
You do them
them separate.
separate? Oh, second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Resolution 3, awarding a one-year contract extension November 9, 2017 through November 8, 2018 to MS Electronics DBA FSE Corporate Security through the competitive contracting process for services of manufacturer certified security system integrators in the approximate amount of $86,200.51.
Motion.
I have a motion by Freeholder Graham. Is there a second? Second by Freeholder Crab. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Okay, resolution read payment of bills. Payment of bills A.
Motion to pay these bills.
Motion to pay bills A.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Graham. Is there discussion? Call the roll.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Resolution B, payment of bills B. Do I have a motion?
Motion to pay those.
Motion to pay those bills by Freeholder Crab. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Graham. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crab?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Resolution C, providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the fiscal year 2017 Body Armor Replacement Fund, BARF, program grant award for the Sussex County Sheriff's Office for a total amount of $9,498.65 for a 5-year best replacement program. Resolution D, providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the fiscal year 2017 Body Armor Replacement Fund, BARF, Program Grant Award for the Sussex County Prosecutor's Office for a total amount of $2,347.94 for a 5-year best replacement program. A resolution E, resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the 2016-17 Comprehensive Cancer Control Budget Modification Number 1 Grant Award, number DFHS 17CCC008, for a total amount of $29,950 for the period of July 1st, 2016 to September 30th, 2017. That's for cancer control. Resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the fiscal year drunk driving enforcement program grant award for the Sussex County Sheriff's Office for a total amount of $3,602.93 for a reporting period of July 1st, 2017, June 30th, 2018, and that's for a drunk driving enforcement program. Most probably of that is for overtime because we do a lot of that in need. A resolution providing for the insertion of any budget item, a special budget item in revenue in 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the 2017 Area Plan Contract Grant final allocation for an additional amount of $182. Resolution H, a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the 2017-18 NJ Cancer Education and Early Detection 2017 Grant Award, number DFHS 18CED014, for a total amount of $189,189. A resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2017 budget of the County of Sussex relating to the 2017-18 Local Core Capacity for Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant Award, number PHLP 18LNC010, for a total amount of $271,128 for a grant period July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. Resolution J, the rescinding petty cash fund for sheriff victim witness. These are clearing up all the petty cash funds that are in the treasurers. We have to do that by resolution. Resolution rescinding petty cash fund for youth services. Resolution L, rescinding petty cash fund for welfare house. M, resolution rescinding petty cash fund for the prosecutor's office. N, resolution rescinding petty cash fund for postage. O, resolution rescinding petty cash fund for library. And resolution P, rescinding petty cash fund for road. Do I have a motion for the resolutions?
So moved.
I have a motion by Freeholder Crabb, a second by Freeholder Graham. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Freeholder Crabb?
Yes.
Freeholder Graham?
Yes.
Freeholder Patillo?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Lazare?
Yes. Do we have any personal action to take?
Yes, there's one. It's a request from the Division of Library requesting to temporarily increase the hours of the part-time courier from 21 hours a week to 28 hours a week.
Is that a seasonal thing?
Yes, it's
Somebody else say this.
it's due to the increase that they have, that they expect will be resolved within the next few months.
A motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion Freeholder Graham, is there a second?
Second.
Second Freeholder Patillo, is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Administrative report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Freeholder, Director. I also would extend my condolences to the Ferneski family for their loss, and to ask everyone to keep in mind all of our emergency service personnel that dedicate a tremendous amount of time, and in some cases their life, to the protection for all of us. As you mentioned, our cancer education early detection team had received that award. I'd just like to recognize Marty Baldwin, who was the head of that team, for the excellent work that her and her group do. The county was advised by the State Division of Parks and Forestry regarding the permitted drawdown of water in Lake Musconetcong which was to begin today. I've been attending the 2017 County Administrator's Certificate Program sponsored by Rutgers University Center for Government Services in cooperation with the New Jersey Association of Counties. I'll complete the certificate program this Friday. I'm also pleased to report that the County Department budget hearings will be completed tomorrow. This will conclude 7 days of budget hearings over the past 2 weeks. I will continue to keep the board informed about the development of the 2018 budget in the coming weeks. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. County Council?
Nothing to report, but I believe that County Administrator Poff will be teaching that administrator certificate course starting in November.
We'll see. Depends whether or not they give me my certificate.
I have nothing else.
Any unfinished business? Any new business? Seeing none, we have public session from the floor. Please note, everyone is asked to keep their comments to 5 minutes or less. Please state your name, spell your last name, and state your municipal residency. Do I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion open.
Motion opened by Freeholder Graham. Is there a second? Second by Freeholder Patel. Is there discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Floor is open.
Bill Gibbs, Sparta, New Jersey. Freeholder Crab, I just want to agree with you. Sparta alone had 17 Eagle Scout projects in 1 year.
Especially Sparta, right?
And Joe Facito is amazing.
Oh,
He's got most of them always with him.
yeah,
Amazing.
That troop had 13 Eagle Scouts in 1 year.
They had so many graduate ones, they had to hold it at the high school.
They had a high school of 5 of them, because I gave the presentation. I just wanted to agree with you. It's so strong up there.
What a difference.
They do a great job. I get a lot of free work from them.
Yeah, no, you're right. Stillwater Freedom has had about 15 Eagle Scouts in the last 2 or 3 years. But you know what? I think mention has to be made of all the adults and the leaders and the parents who put out a tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy to make scouting possible. And it's great that the kids are achieving all these things, but these adults are the ones that keep it going. I know I went through scouting for a good period of time, and I was in a half a dozen different troops. They all fell apart because there was no leadership. The adults couldn't be there to pick up the tab and to pick up the time and effort, and it was always a chore finding somebody. But we are fortunate that we have a tremendous group of scout leaders that do a lot of work and helping these kids succeed at what they do. They go to these weekend campouts. We have an administrator in the area that loves mosquitoes, and he goes running in the woods. Well, I wasn't going to let you get away totally with that. And then we have Alamucci Park, and I'm sure you know most of it very well. Yes, I'm sure. Go ahead, Gil.
I just wanted to bring up an anecdote. If you go back, Troop 1 is in Richfield Park, New Jersey, for the state of New Jersey. And my great grandfather had a picture of him going on a cruise ship to get the first charter back. He was one of the original members.
That's
And
great.
there was no plane, so they had to go on a cruise ship to go get the charter.
Gee, you're dating yourself. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Judy Dean Van Goghenburg, and I'm here, I'm not clear, item number 14C. We had submitted an application, now a couple years ago for a sewer hookup on Nelson Road, the property that we own in Franklin Township, and we were told by Matt Morrison it would be on the documents today. And I'm not sure if 14C was the resolution that you approved, or if there's something else and there's another area that we can have a conversation about this.
What town did you say?
It's Franklin. It's right, exactly, Roslyn Road, and it's across the street from where the sewers are put in. It's, I believe the address is like 5 Roslyn Road in Branchville. It's not Branchville, it's right.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, yes. Sorry.
We have good map.
No, that, and you're talking about a sewer hookup for an
Yes, a
individual
Yes,
lot.
right.
This is in addition to the existing wastewater treatment plant in Frankfurt. So this was an annexation of a small lot that they made as a part of it. I don't think it has anything to do with an individual house
Well, it's property.
or an individual property, and I'm not sure that comes through us. I think that comes through Frankfurt.
Now, we were told that it was going to be on the docket tonight, and by Matt Morrison from Howard Pellow's office, that he had spoken, I believe, with, was it Williams? Did you speak with Matt Morrison?
No.
Well, anyway, we were told over here.
Okay.
Because this has been going on now for a couple of years, and the last meeting that occurred before this meeting, there was a neighbor that right next door to the property who had a question. So the question was resolved by the DP, and it was supposed to, again, be, we hypothetically thought it was going to be on the docket and approved. And
The resolution should have it.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm looking
Mr.
at
Freeholder,
now.
Director, the summary of the resolution is that this Frankfurt Township Plan Amendment originally proposed 17 lots that were located on Roslyn Road and Madison Avenue were to be added to the Branchville-Paulinskill Sewer Service Area Road. During their review, the DEP required a more detailed study of one of the vacant lots on Roslyn Road, lot 21.07 and lot 48,
That's a lot.
due to its potential habitat for threatened and endangered species. An assessment was in fact prepared by Pellow's office dated April 17 and submitted to DEP. The DEP issued a public notice that was published on August 7th of 2017 for the addition of this lot in Frankfurt Township Sewer Service Area with a conservation easement provided on a portion of lot 21.07 for the protection of the habitat corridor. So one written comment was received from a resident regarding wetlands on the property, and DEP staff stated they will formally respond to the comment in their final approval document. But yes, that was the resolution that was authorized by the Freeholders.
So does that mean that we have approval for this work?
That means that the Freeholder Board has done what is required of it by the Department of Environmental Protection, and ultimately the Department of Environmental Protection will render its final decision. What they will be looking for is this resolution that was adopted by the Freeholder Board. So I would suggest that you speak with Mr. Pellow's office
We have spoken with
as to what the next step in the
Make sure
process
it's all
is.
done.
I'm Larry Van Volkenburg. I had paid the town of Branchville. I used to live in Branchville for 35 years. We bought a lot across the street, and I paid to have the sewer hook up, put, and they paid for that, and it was done. And then the DEP wanted me to leave 10 feet along the side of the property for endangered species. Bobcat, I agreed.
Bobcat?
Yes. The Bobcat right away, and it goes across 260.
It
Put
goes
up a
to
sign that says Bobcats
Yes,
here.
yes, and I don't know how, I have them pictures of Bobcat walking along
Seems like
there.
Frankfurt has a target on its back when it comes to endangered species.
What's the target population for bobcat?
There's only one that goes through this property.
No, the DEP, I spoke to Alan Jackson from the DEP, and he told me that, back 10 feet, well, back of the property 10 feet, and then up the left side 10 feet, can't touch it, because it makes a turn and goes across Route 206 and continues on. So I agreed to it, and then,
Well, anyway, the bottom line is that,
So the D-
said that the DEP had responded and had rendered that everything was fine, that, it was approved, or as far as they're concerned, it's approved, and that is what I thought tonight's meeting was, the formality of saying, yes, you can move the sewer.
The DEP will make its final determination based upon the adoption of this resolution this evening.
We did our part here, but we can't authorize.
Yes.
So,
So we've said we don't objection to it, go ahead, do it. They have to say, okay, we'll do it.
The resolution will be sent to DEP for their final approval.
Okay, and do you have a time frame for that? or-
The resolution will be mailed to them, and then they will process it accordingly. I can't speak on behalf of the DEP.
Okay, well, frankly, just, off the record, this has been very frustrating. It's been a series of missteps along the way that have been going on for easily 4 years now, from the moment when we found out that the sewers were going to be put through Branchville, and leveraged the opportunity to be right across the street in order to hook it up. Paid her $1,000, and we were told that's cool. And it's been just misunderstandings and misstatements, and a neighbor who doesn't clearly want
Leader was in here and wanted to know how it was going to affect. the
doesn't want
property
anything
owners.
built. So, it's a little frustrating, so that's why I'm trying to push to find out exactly when it is. So, I apologize for being a little bit over anxious.
Well, from our perspective, the road's open and clear now. So you could get back to Harold and say they passed it, and then he can contact DEP, and they get the results for that, and you're on your way.
Does the Bobcat know he has to walk in those 10 feet?
Well, yeah, there's a Bobcat sign.
Make sure the board people here, you'd be on my property.
walking path.
You're already directing the
The
Bobcat.
walking path, it will be titled Bobcat Walking Team.
Oh, good. That's
Maybe they'll build a
Do
bridge over
you
206.
provide reading classes for the Bobcat, so he knows?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sure.
And maybe a arrow on his back. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Snyder, Sanderson Township. I have a question. I believe the man's name is Phil Murphy, is running for governor in the Democrat Party ticket. And I believe he's made a statement to, I've seen it on TV, that New Jersey will be a sanctuary state if he is elected.
That's what I hear.
And I'm wondering, is Sussex County a sanctuary county?
No.
Not anybody's told me.
So we
Not
will
that I know.
cooperate with any federal agencies that
Wow.
requested assistance and that's what pretty much what it means.
Are you asking if we're going to
Tell
secede?
government, you take care of yourself, we won't help you at all.
You're going to ask us if we're going to secede?
From what?
Or form another state?
Yeah, right. Only for
Go
Bobcat.
along with that.
Mr. Schneider, only for Bobcat.
Right, 10 foot. Does it vary depending on the size of the bobcat?
Guess we'll have to see what happens in November and where this goes.
The Bobcat situation.
But you're going to be assured that that's not in the plan for us. We're not backing that kind of stuff that I know of.
Well, it's not a
Also,
matter
did
of
you hear
who
what his
back it.
favorite New Jersey fruit and vegetable?
Grapefruit.
Broccoli and grapefruit.
Well, we're starting a grapefruit farm up on Sandy.
Well, he's got the orange tree in his property. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a great session. Haven't had a public session like this in a while. Anybody else want to add to the fun? Oh, here we go. He's serious.
I wanted to just take a moment on behalf of Pace Glass. I'm Vern Heffley. I've been helping them through the process of getting these approvals and working with them since January. And we've had a substantial amount of support both from Andover Township, from the mayor, from the county planning board, from the Sussex County Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and from the Freeholders. Mr. Williams has given us some very good guidance. And it's been a pleasure for me and for Pace to go through this process. And we're 10 months into it, and we've come a very, very long way very quickly. And that's thanks to the support of people.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
May I be so bold as to ask you how the process was from your perspective as a businessman coming in trying to start well, you're doing a startup, so you're coming in startup from scratch.
Right. And so I represented them as their legal counsel through this process, and it's worked very well. They've been very satisfied with the support that they've gotten, and I think it's a great thing for the county. Based on where we are today and the resolution that was adopted, we're going to be able to now order our equipment from Europe, get it in here, and probably we will be up and running within less than 2 years from when we actually acquired the property. And in those 2 years, we'll have up and running probably about a $50 million investment in this county. And we're really excited about that.
How's the railroad negotiations going?
It's coming along.
Oh, that's
It's coming
good.
along. We're continuing on that because that'll make it all the better. So Pace is very excited to be in the county. They're excited with all the support they've gotten, and they're going to make that investment. And I think it's going to be a good situation for everyone. So just want to thank you.
We're happy to have you. Don't screw up.
Thanks. I'd just like to say something. Pace Glass, Bill Carroll, Pace Glass. Just like you guys, Freeholder, to keep up that work of getting the skill. technical people, it'll change
What
their
you
lives.
need to do, if you have a certain skill that's necessary, is contact the head
Yeah.
president of Sussex Community College, because he's working intensely on getting these type of communications and discussions with the people that have the businesses.
Yeah, you said the word welding. We have a lot of
Welding.
machinery,
Who knew
old
welding
machinery,
would be such a-
technical, computerized machinery. You know, you have to make parts to repair them and everything. We need people like that.
What's your target headcount then?
There's some days today as we design the machinery, but there'll be 20 or 30 people working each shift. And plus the truck drivers. And the truck drivers could be 100 people. You know. But maintaining trucks, machinery, roof grounds, all kinds of maintenance, you need skilled people. And to keep it up, like you said, you'll change people's lives.
Have you made contact with Sussex County Technical School?
No, we haven't yet.
You really should
Yeah.
do that, because you might be able to get some
Yeah.
educational programs, or
Yeah.
get some cross work there. And they've got an excellent automotive unit over there.
Absolutely.
And that certainly might be good for you and good for them.
They're
Just put a big
actually-
investment into the welding program.
I started off as a carpenter and I'm building this plant now. So the opportunities there for
Well,
skilled
Everybody
craftsmen.
should start as a.
Touch base with
Yeah.
them and see if you can get some cooperative programs going. That'd be good for you and good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Keep it up, please.
Okay. Keep in touch with us. Let us know what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Let's close before it gets worse.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Reminders of upcoming events, October 26th, open space in the Freeholder Meeting Room. October 2nd, the Senior Advisory Council at Knoll Heights. I'm sorry, November 2nd. November 5th, reminder, the Veterans Parade at 1 p.m. That's at the fairgrounds at the Richards Building. So let's remember that. November 6th, you have the Development Review Commission. November 6th, the Planning Board will meet here. Freeholder meeting is November 8th. The 9th is UCC, and November 9th is the Water Quality Management Program. Don't forget to vote. And then November also. And if there's no further business to come before the board, I'll receive a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion for adjournment, Freeholder Graham. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Freeholder Patillo. Is there discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. We are adjourned.